She's chewing on the windowsill. That's new. What was that? What were you doing? Hello, Buns. Welcome back to Cinnabun Sundays, a weekly video series where we talk about all things bunny. I'm Morgan, Cinnabun's bun mom, and today I am going to teach you how to make your rabbit a genius. When you think of a smart pet, I'm sure you probably think of dogs and not necessarily rabbits. For some reason, rabbits have been stereotyped as these animals that you just push off to the side in a cage, don't really interact with, aren't very smart, aren't very loving, and just kind of do their own thing, which in reality is not true. Rabbits are very intelligent creatures and they're really capable of a lot, and they're capable of operating like a standard pet would. It all just comes down to understanding how to speak their language and understanding what to do to enrich them and make their brains a little bit bigger. So today I'm going to share 5 ways to make your rabbit smarter so that you can brag to all your friends about how your rabbit is smarter than all of their dogs and cats.
And that's the thesis.
But before we get started, if you do not follow me on Instagram, which if you don't follow us, what are you doing? Go ahead and follow us at sincerelycinnabun. So if you don't follow us on Instagram, then you did not see that I released presets this week. I get so many DMs about how I edit Cinnabun's photos, and I actually created a preset in Lightroom about a year ago, and I've been using it ever since. I figured it was time to just go ahead and share with y'all. So linked in my description, I have the desktop preset and the mobile preset that you can download so that you can make your photos look like ours. It's just like a nice, warm, bright addition to your pictures, and I hope you like them. And with that, let's get on to making your bunny smarter. Number 1, teach your rabbit tricks. A lot of people don't know this, but bunnies can learn tricks. Cinnabun knows how to walk on her hind legs, she knows how to give a high five, she knows how to spin, but I actually back in the spring did a how to teach your rabbit tricks video. Go check that out if you want to learn how to do it. But tricks are such a good way to teach your rabbit to respond to you. By using your body language and by using your voice, your rabbit starts to connect the dots and put things together. That is enrichment, and that is what makes your rabbit smarter. If you can teach your rabbit to walk on your hind legs, then you can also start to teach your rabbit to come when they're called, to understand when you're talking to them, and to understand an association between your body language and an action. Number 2, adapt to their routine. Rabbits are insanely routine-oriented creatures. Once they get on a routine, that is how they live their life. And a good way to make your rabbit smarter is to actually adapt to that. So let me elaborate a little bit. So let's think of some things in your rabbit's routine. There's their feedings, when you change their litter box, maybe when you have certain playtime, maybe when you go to bed. If you actively lean into that routine, your rabbit is going to expect certain things. So for Cinnabun, she has full reign to our house all day, but at nighttime I put her into this bunny room to go to bed just so she can be safe and she doesn't get lost in the house, right? So before bed every night I would give her a garden stick, and I started thinking,
what if I could teach her to use this garden stick as her way of putting herself to bed?
So every single night I would bring the garden stick to the doorway of the bunny room. She would take it and I'd put her in the bunny room and lock her away. Slowly I'd step a little farther away from the bunny room and she would take it and start to hop towards the bunny room. Until now I could literally just give her the garden stick, she takes it and knows to come into her bunny room. Another example is I trained Cinnabun to eat in her little tent. I think it's cute and it's smart for her to know to wait for her food. So I started by just bringing her food over to the tent, getting her used to eating in that area. Eventually I would bring it over and point to the tent, and then she would figure out to go in. Now whenever it's breakfast time, she sprints over to her little tent and waits in it for her food. It teaches her patience, it really adds to her routine, and you can tell that she's starting to put the dots together of my routine equals this, and it's really cool to see her figuring it out. Number 3 are enrichment toys. This is like the number 1 thing that can just build your bunny's brain without having to try too hard. There are so many games and puzzles out there for rabbits that can just make their brain a little bit bigger. So rabbits are used to foraging for their food, so if you just give them food in a bowl, it doesn't really help them that much and it makes it easy for them to get food. Ways that you can boost their brain up a little bit more is by having snuffle mats or games where they actually have to search for their food. Make it a little more challenging and just make them think outside the box a little bit more. The most basic thing you can use is a snuffle mat. You just put your food on the mat so they have to dig around and look for it. I also have a teach and treat game where you hide the pellets inside of the game and they have to lift up things to get to it. Things like this are just such an easy way to make feeding time not only their meal time, but a way for them to educate themselves and just get a little smarter about problem solving. Number 4, take them out of their routine. Now you might be thinking,
didn't you just say to stick to their routine to make them smarter?
yes and no. What I was talking about before was adapting to their routine and adding to their routine to help make things click. But if your bunny gets too stuck in their routine, anytime you take them out, they're gonna
Panic.
So what I do with Cinnabun is about once a week, I'll take her on a coffee run, I'll take her somewhere new, not for a long time, but just enough for her to realize that there is a world outside of her bunny room and outside of our house. It makes things like going to the vet, bringing them to a pet sitter, a little bit less scary and easier for them to adapt to. And number 5, the last thing, is free roam your rabbit. Out of everything on this list, the number one thing that can make your rabbit smarter is removing the cage, removing barriers from you and your bunny, and just letting them free roam. By removing a cage and by removing barriers from you and your bunny, your rabbit learns to adapt to your lifestyle. They learn to adapt to the television, to cooking, to normal sounds, and they just get more used to things. By just opening them up to your space, they are going to become so much more bonded to you. They're gonna become a lot more used to things around you, and it's going to make them smarter. Think of it this way, if your rabbit is sheltered and living in a cage all the time, they are not going to know how to react to human beings, to any changes in their environment, just to anything whatsoever. Rabbits that free roam are so much more used to just like the daily change in human environment, and while they have their routines, they're a lot more adaptable to daily changes. And Buns, that is it. That is my list for 5 ways to make your rabbit smarter. Please comment down below if you can think of some other things that I might have missed out on. Make sure that you are subscribed to this channel so that you never miss an episode, and like this video if you found it helpful. And remember, our presets are available down in the description. Let me know if you end up getting any or using any, and we will see you next Sunday. Bye, Buns.